Okay, let's bring in our guest for today's edition of Podium Picks. She's our good friend, one of the OGs in the CrossFit Games world. She's Annie Sakamoto. Annie, thank you so much for doing this. How you doing?
Really good. Thanks. Thanks for having me, you guys.
Of course. Did you miss us? Because you don't see us enough, apparently.
I know it's kind of weird to see you virtually. I've been lucky enough to see a lot of your actual faces recently, which I love.
Yeah, that's been fun. It's been good times covering the quarterfinals. You got out of the fun stuff with the teams this past weekend, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Annie, are you staying on brand? Are you standing on a couple of road plates at home right now?
That's how I live. I just carry them wherever I go.
Beautiful.
Yes, we have to boost Annie up sometimes behind the desk.
Sometimes. I appreciate that you said sometimes.
Sometimes. Yeah, it just depends. Okay, this is what we're doing today. So we're going to do a 5-round draft, and we're going to draft our favorite benchmark workouts. So heroes and named girl WODs. So we're going to put together our best list of 5, and then we will let the people vote, decide who had the best draft. Now, Annie, we always let our guest decide where she wants to draft. So you can pick first, second, or third. Now, keep in mind, if you pick first, the way the draft works is that it goes back and forth. So the first round will be 1, 2, 3. The second round will be 3, 2, 1. And then 1, 2, 3, 3, 2, 1. So you do get back-to-back picks. But if you pick first, it's going to be a while before it gets back to you.
I'm going to go with 2.
2. Okay, yes. Here we
go.
All right, so Tommy and I
know.
That's
savvy move of the day right there.
That's Sean. Pretty savvy. Yeah, usually people go first. So
yeah.
That's an interesting move. All right, so Tommy's between you and me to get to choose next. I have the official Talking Elite Fitness Podium Picks coin. I will let you call it in the air.
Tails.
It is heads.
Ooh.
I'm going to pick first.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to go first. I never go first, so I'm going to go first. All right, so let's kick this thing off. My first pick, and I have done no research for this, so I'm doing this on the fly. I am going to pick the most infamous named workout of all, and I'm going to pick Fran. Everyone loves Fran. It is, the workout that they used to do at the L1. It is, the one thing that it used to be when you were, back in the old Globo gym days, you'd ask people, how much you bench? How much you bench? Now it's, what's your Fran time? What's your Fran time? Everybody wants to know what the Fran time is. It is, it has its own ailment named after it called Fran Lung. You can actually do another workout that is very difficult. And you'll say, I got some Fran Lung, got a touch of the Fran Lung,
Good point.
So it's the only workout I know of that has an ailment named after it. It is terrible every time you do it. It's one of those just beautifully elegant workouts that Pat Sherwood would say that you just put up on the board and it just strikes fear in everybody. It has this visceral reaction when you see it. And it couldn't be simpler. Tommy. Thrusters and pull-ups, 21, 15, 9. I mean, the 9, it's barely around. Why even worry about it? As I channel my inner Pat Sherwood here. But I'm going to go. Doesn't even matter. It's a minor inconvenience. So I am going to go with my first pick, Fran.
I think that's quintessential CrossFit, Sean.
I would agree with that.
That is CrossFit in one workout if you really had to distill it. So I think that's a good pick.
Thank you, Annie.
I agree. I think it's the 1-1 choice. Thruster. Yep. The thruster is the quintessential CrossFit movement.
Yep.
I'm curious, Sean, what's your Fran time? What's your lifetime PR?
Oh man, it is not good. I think I went sub 5 once.
Okay.
And
it's not bad.
That was with Pat Sherwood in attendance. And that's when he told me his strategy. Don't worry about the round of 9. It doesn't exist. And he was there basically yelling at me the whole time. And that helped.
That actually got me to PR too.
Yep.
He told me the same thing.
Yep. The round of 9 doesn't exist. And and it works. It's actually a good strategy.
Right.
I couldn't see or hear anything by the time I got to the 9, but it worked.
Mm-hmm.
What's your best, PR? Tommy? What's your best?
I'm 242 is my best time.
Wow, that's good because you're
levered.
That's not a good workout for you,
No.
Yeah, you're right. And for the longest time, my goal was sub 4 because I remember there was an old back on like the .com forums. Some guy went on and said that it's like basically biomechanically impossible for someone over 6 feet to do a sub 4 Fran. And because at the time, no one that was over 6 feet that was at the games had a listed Fran under 4. So I remember that being my goal forever. And guys like Asia Barto and Spencer Hendel kind of broke that barrier for me. And I remember getting that and then being like, okay, I want sub 3 now. And Pat gave me that same cue, and I got it, and I've never come close since.
Yep.
Andy, what do you got?
What's your
What do I got for a time or for a workout?
close?
No.
You're up next. So give us your Fran time and your pick.
I think my best is 229, which is
that's smoking.
That's kind of disappointing. I mean,
It's not disappointing.
For the way I'm built, I should have a little bit of a faster time, I feel like, but I haven't tested it in years. So who knows? Maybe now that I'm old and gray, it's faster. Huh? All right. My first pick is going to be Eva.
Ooh, okay. Good one.
Very specifically, it's a nasty workout. And if I'm going to be totally honest, I've never even done it. But specifically, you know, I want to give a nod to Eva Tordokins, who is the original female fire breather of CrossFit, one of Greg Glassman's very first clients. And Eva is, if you don't know, 5 rounds of an 800-meter run, 30 heavy kettlebell swings. So I think it's 32 kg for the guys, 24 for the ladies, and 30 pull-ups. And I'm choosing this because for those of you that don't know, Eva Tordokins was in a pretty tragic plane crash about 2 years ago. And she really shouldn't even be alive. And not only through her hard efforts, she's a 2-time Olympian, so we know she's got some massive work ethic. But through her work ethic, she not only is walking again, she got her driver's license about a month ago.
Wow.
She's back squatting 242 pounds for 2 reps. She's deadlifting the same. And so this is a woman, if you saw the photos of this plane crash, really nobody should have walked away alive. So this is a huge nod to Eva, her work ethic, her perseverance, and just the woman that she is.
That's a great pick.
Beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. Tommy, you're up next, back to back here.
Okay, I got back-to-back picks here. I was trying to decide. I have a particular draft strategy in terms of how I want to map these out.
Mm-hmm.
But if I'm going for my first round pick, there's got to be the name recognition. There's got to be a little, how do I say it? Notoriety around the test in particular, in terms of it being formidable. And for me, there's only one benchmark workout that I can guarantee that I will do every single year without fail. I did it in your garage last year, Sean, and it is Murph, and we do it on Memorial Day. And it has been done at the games multiple times. It's one of the few workouts where I feel like in a quintessential version of it is kind of a choose your own adventure for many people. Murph means many things to many different people. Collectively as a community, although it is primarily a US based thing because it is a hero workout, it's in honor of Lieutenant Michael Murphy, who gave his life during Operation Red Wings to basically give his fellow soldiers a chance at survival. If no one's ever read Lone Survivor or the oh my gosh, I read the other book that was written about his life specifically. It talks about when they were basically under fire constantly, and the only way to get a possible signal to radio in for an evac was to go out directly into the fire when they were getting pelted. And Murph didn't hesitate, ran out in the middle of it, took on the oncoming fire, radioed in to save his soldiers. And as the story goes, after getting shot multiple times, he made sure he picked himself back up and thanked his responding officers to get the evac. And I think that's one of the reasons why it has become, I would say there's a handful of, if you went into the Hall of Fame of benchmark workouts, Murph is right up there. It's a first ballot Hall of Famer. It was originally called Body Armor. And it's also one of the few workouts that was created as a result of that person's actual fitness regimen. So it was a workout he used to do called Body Armor that he would do in Afghanistan while he was on base and training. So it's a direct nod to him and the fitness that he built as well. There's a million different ways to do Murph. It's a rallying point for the community, and it is one of the most stout tests every year, and it's something that I look forward to.
and I think it's one of those too that has filtered outside of the CrossFit realm. People who don't necessarily do CrossFit do it on Memorial Day, and they call it the Murph. Which, that's okay as long as you do the workout. But yeah, I think that was going to be, it was either Fran or that one for me, no doubt.
Yeah.
I really like what you said too, Tommy. It's such a rallying point for our entire community, especially because we all do it on Memorial Day. It's one of the few workouts that every client in my gym always requests to do on Memorial Day. And let's face it, like community, the community rallying around something is quintessential CrossFit as well. And so I think Murph is a great representation of everything CrossFit.
Yeah. And to your point, Sean, you can put a list of all like the different Hollywood people that have done it. John Krasinski has done Murph when he did it in preparation, I believe, was he in Zero Dog 30?
I think Chris Pratt did it
Chris
too.
Pratt, they did it together.
Yeah.
Donald Trump Jr. has lied about his Murph time. I mean, it just spans the full gamut. I mean, like I couldn't pick anything other than that. With Fran going off the board with a pick like Eva going off the board, Murph is my first pick. And so my wraparound pick, I'm gonna play a little defense here, Sean.
Oh,
yeah, I'm gonna play a little defense.
Oh no, okay.
I got my starting left tackle. It's going to anchor my offense for the rest of the time. Now I need the reason you get the left tackle. I need that edge rusher. It's going to prevent anyone else from getting to their draft strategy. And the only reason I picked this one is because who's picking after me? This person is actually in the video. Annie was in the video for this benchmark workout. I would say it is the spark that lit the egalitarian gender fire of equality within the sport and in the realm, and that is Nasty Girls, the original one. It might be, and it's crazy to say this, even with everything that's been put out, there might not be a more important video for where CrossFit eventually got to as a sport than that video. Because that was, I hate having to say it, but like sometimes you have to like prove the haters wrong. Sometimes you have to go above and beyond just to like throw it in the haters' face. And that one is just a big middle finger to everyone that said that like, oh, like you can't do muscle ups, you can't do all these things well, like, oh, like these women aren't that strong, all this stuff that you build, like the kind of misogyny of like they shouldn't be training like that. And then here you have Annie, you have Nicole, and you have Ava just taking their size 6 shoe and placing it squarely in the rear ends of every single hater out there. And I remember exactly where I was when I saw that video for the first time. I was sitting in my parents' living room. It was not too long after I had started CrossFit, and I remember writing down a checklist of the skills and things that I wanted to do. And I remember thinking to myself that I'm bad at air squats and I'm bad at gymnastics because those are two things that don't come naturally to me. And I was like going through my head and trying to find motivation. And I remember that video being sent to me and looking it up because I was looking up for muscle up tutorials. And I saw that video and I was like, well, there goes all my excuses. I'm a big old heaping pile of crud. I gotta dial this in. And that was actually part of my motivation for getting my first muscle up. So,
and for people who don't know, what exactly is that workout?
So Nasty Girls, I believe it is. So we've done a variation of it at regionals. Yeah. Nasty Girls 2.0. I gotta look up the exact rep range. So it is 50 air squats, 7 muscle ups, 10 hang power cleans at 135.95. They did a variation at regionals with I believe it was
strict muscle ups and pistols, wasn't it?
Pistols, yeah, something like that. But yeah, I mean that video has a little bit of everything on it, like you want to talk about emotion. Nicole getting emotional at the end of that video. Back in the day, like Tony Budding's running around with the camera and everything like that. It's at the original gym. That video, like if you haven't already, you're listening to this, you have to look at that original CrossFit Nasty Girls. I'm looking up to make sure. I think it had, The most recent one that they re-released still has over a 500,000 views. So definitely go pump that thing up. It's amazing. This is one of the reasons why Annie is considered an OG. It's one of the things that cemented that legacy on for her.
Well, you know what's, go ahead.
And I had to take it before Annie had a chance to take it and Sean had a chance to take it.
Well, you know, what's funny is when we did that video, you know, and they posted it, and this was back in the day of like the original .com site, you know, where everybody did a lot of comments and stuff. And I came home and I was telling Jake, you know, like, I guess this video is getting a lot of hits, like over however many hits. And he goes, well, Annie, it's called Nasty Girls. Nobody thinks they're getting a workout.
Oh.
So do make sure, if you haven't seen the video and you're looking up Nasty Girls, you somewhere put CrossFit in the search box.
Yes, please do. Please do. And there's even a mention of it in a book. It was a popular CrossFit book back in the day called Learning to Breathe Fire by J.C. Hertz, I believe.
Yeah.
It was one of the early like CrossFit books talking about like the training and upcoming of it. And he mentions it specifically and it drove a lot of traffic. But yeah, I mean, that is one of those things that's just like, it stands the test of time. You can point, like, if I ever have a daughter one day, I'm going to show that video to her.
Love it.
All right. Annie, you're up with your second pick. That was a great pick, Tommy, by the way.
All right. I'm going to try to compliment Eva with Linda.
Oh, you come on.
3 bars of death. And so for those that don't know it, it's 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 10 down to 1 of 1.5 body weight deadlift, body weight bench press, and 3/4 body weight cleans. And specifically as a lighter athlete, I really like this because we're talking about a strength workout in relationship to your own body weight. And so, you know, for me, I often struggle with the heavier barbell. So I obviously love a barbell where it is relative to my body weight. But also this is just, you know, this workout has been around much longer than I have. This was one of those workouts that was on the wall at the original gym. And it is, as far as lifting goes, just a beautiful blend of, you know, lower body pulling, upper body pushing, and some cleans.
Man, I love that.
Thought I was, man, you guys seriously just took what were going to be my 2 picks. My board is in disarray. I don't know what, like, I'm flying blind now. That's a great pick. And I love the fact that we did that at regionals once, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So good. I love that workout. That's one of the very first, like, that and Murph were 2 of like the first, like, real hard, I would say, benchmark workouts that I ever did when I started CrossFit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Regional Linda 2018. They
2018.
Paired it with the 333.
Mm-hmm.
That was wild.
Yeah, that was a great
Quite a first day.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
It was
man.
both, they were both the first day, I think.
Yep. Linda in general to me was the Globo Gym killer, if you will. It was like you got someone that was like hot to trot, rolling their shoulders, and I'm like, hey, this is an easy one.
Yeah.
Deadlift, you probably do this at your gym. Bench press at your body weight, you could probably do that. We'll throw a little clean in there. You don't even have to go below parallel. Just get it up to the shoulder. It's 3/4 body weight. You got this. And they're like, oh yeah, I can do that. And they come out flying at the round of 10, maybe even the round of 9. And then the wheels just come off on the round of 8. By the round of 6, they don't know which way is up and which way is down. And then, you know, and then they kind of give you that look like, what is this? And you're like, gotcha.
I'm scrambling now. I got back-to-back picks and I have no idea what I'm going to do.
He's on tilt. I love it.
I hate both of you. Annie, you're never welcome back on the show. Okay.
Till the next time you need me.
I thought I'd get at least one of them. Okay. What am I going to
do?
I don't know what I'm going to do. I'm just befuddled right now. Okay, you know what? Here's what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to go back because I'm just going to make this personal now for me. Like, I'm just going to go from my experience. I am going to pick, this is the very first CrossFit workout I ever did, and it was modified because I didn't do it for the full time. It was for rounds, not for time. You know, I just like, you're going to do 10 rounds. I'm going to go with Cindy.
Nice.
Excellent.
I'm going with Cindy because
Excellent.
Cindy is the workout you can do anywhere. You just got to find a pull-up bar. When I first started CrossFit and I'd go home and visit my parents, I'd go up to the elementary school and they had a pull-up bar that was high enough for me. And it was in like a wood chip playground. So I'd bring a towel and I'd put the towel down underneath like on the chips. So I had a place to do push-ups so I wouldn't get, splinters and everything. And I would do Cindy at the playground. And it was awesome. Yep. It's and it's one of those workouts too. Like no matter how good you are at all those movements, you can make that workout really hurt.
Oh yeah.
Totally.
100%.
Yeah. It's a great test. And it's awesome for people who are just starting because you can really, you can build some rudimentary skills, not a barbell in sight. You don't have to do anything too complex. Even if you don't know like fully a kipping pull-up, you can gut through that workout and still get yourself a really good workout. And that was like, for me, I'll never forget doing that. The person who introduced me to CrossFit said, we're just going to do 10 rounds as fast as you can, 10 rounds. And I thought I was going to die. After that was over, I was like, okay, that was the hardest thing I've ever done in a gym. And I have been wasting my time working out until this very moment. And I was hooked. So Cindy was my gateway drug. So I'm picking Cindy.
Love it.
Do you remember? Oh, you did 10 rounds for time. You said
the
first time you did.
I don't even know what my time was. I think it may have been longer than 20 minutes though. Cause like I thought I was going to die.
I just remember back in the day, Spieler was like the gold standard that he had like 30 plus rounds of Cindy and he had 26 with a 20-pound vest on.
What?
And
my God.
It was that was like, this is one of those, like, I wish we documented it. I wish we could dig up a lot of the old Spiel videos because he used to do some like superhuman stuff for some of the body weight things. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that guy
was one that we would retest a lot in the early days of CrossFit. Mm-hmm. And like you said, John, you could really see your progress. At first, if you got 12 to 15 rounds, as a beginner CrossFitter, that was amazing. And then, you were always pushing for that 20 rounds in 20 minutes, right? Because you're basically e-momming. And then once you made it past the 20, you were a hero, in the early days. So
yes. I was never a hero in that workout. That's one for me. It was like, all right, feeling good. And then, oh no, the spiral happens. Not a big man's workout, but it's a great one. It's one that's like, if you're traveling, you can find a place to do sing.
Love it.
Okay. I know I'm going to stash a couple away because I think I might be able to grab some of these later. So I'm going to take a chance here. So this next one I'm going to pick is again, another super simple one. Another one that has a video that I think people may have seen. It's not as famous as the Nasty Girls video, but it's still a pretty good video. It's a workout that I love doing. And every time I do it, I'm like, oh, this isn't going to be bad, but it's really hard. And I've tried to attack it different ways. I'm going to pick Grace. Oh, everyone loves to do Grace. Just throw 35 on the barbell and just clean and jerk that sucker 30 times.
That is actually one of my most despised benchmark workouts.
Really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. It just rips me a new one every time. I hate it.
I've tried doing it quick.
Everybody does.
I've tried doing it set to 5. I've tried doing set to 6. I've tried to do as big as set as I can right out of the gates, then go set what you can do. And it's like so simple, but it's such a great challenge. And the video I'm talking about is Dan Bailey. I think did it sub 1 minute, right?
He did right around 1 minute.
Yeah.
It was weapons. It's called weapons. It's called weapons grade Grace.
Yeah. Ew.
Yeah. That was, fun story. And that just kind of goes to show how weird fitness is sometimes. Mm-hmm. The best time I've ever put up on Grace came at like just as the sun was setting after a long day of work. And the only place I had to train on the way home because the gym was being remodeled was Pat Sherwood's house.
Oh, yeah.
He lived in Capitola. Mm-hmm. So he was like, yeah, come on over. Like, we'll do a quick workout. And then, on your way home, like after work, we're both exhausted. We're trying to figure out what to do. He's like, you know what? Let's slap the 135 on the bar. Let's do Grace. And he goes, I'm going to give you a challenge. Every PR I have comes from a challenge from Pat Sherwood. So maybe he's onto something. But and the goal was to do 18 unbroken and then 5, 4, 3.
Man.
But by like putting your hands on the bar right after it settled.
Mm-hmm.
And it worked. So
what was that time?
138, I think.
Woo!
Wow.
140 maybe.
So good.
Things I'll never do for 500, please, Alex.
Yeah. Amen.
That was many moons ago.
Good stuff.
Yep.
All right, so Annie will go next, and Tommy, you'll make your first pick in the third round, and then I will. Shooter's choice. You can give us whatever Whoop podium you want. I'll let you kind of make the
All
call
right.
on that one.
All right.
All right. So Annie, you're up next, and I'm sure you're going to steal another one of mine.
I don't know if I am. I'm gonna guess maybe nobody thought about this one. How about a little FGB? Fight
Whoa!
That's a great one. Oh, I didn't think of that.
Bad, huh? Who thought up that one?
Oh, that was, I had that on my board.
Good, because I'm glad because you stole one of mine.
Yeah. So this is another one that I think they ran at my original seminar back in October of what was that, like 2004. Classic CrossFit workout, 3 rounds, 1 minute of each: wall balls, sumo deadlift, high pull, box jumps, push press, rowing, and then rest. And this was a workout that, in the early days of CrossFit, there was a lot of jujitsu guys that Greg and the crew trained. And this was meant to mimic kind of what it feels like to be in the ring for 5 minutes, get 1 minute off, and go back into the ring. And if you were a real brute, you did 5 rounds of Fight Gone Bad, not just 3. But again, this is just such a simple workout, just 1 minute at each thing. And it is another one that, first round, you're kind of feeling like a hero. Round 2, the wheels kind of start falling off the cart. And by round 3, if you get 3 to 5 reps at each thing, you're doing good. Yeah. So I had to go with a good old Fight Gone Bad there.
That's also another one of the very first workouts I ever did.
Yeah.
Almost killed me.
Oh yeah. I love that. I love that workout. And I also like testing it starting at different stations.
Yeah.
Because there are the people that are like, I want to start at the push press, and they're going to get like 80 push press somehow on the first minute. And then, by the end, they're rowing like 2 calories for the last station.
A guy I used to work out with in Jacksonville, when we were, being really stupid and working out in this global gym, we would do 5 rounds, call it a championship Fight Gone Bad.
Yes.
Ooh, that was dumb too.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
That was not smart.
The legend goes, there's a video out there of BJ Penn doing it. So, former UFC champion, UFC Hall of Famer. And I think he's the one that coined the phrase, right? Because they were like, was that because they were trying to mimic a fight for him?
Yeah.
He was like, is that a fight? And he's like, no, it's a fight gone bad.
Yes, like, exactly.
Booyah.
Yep.
That's a great pick.
Yep.
Annie, you're not supposed to come in and show us up like that.
He's killing it.
God, that Linda thing killed me. I thought for sure I would get that one.
I know, right? It's such a good one.
All right, Tommy, your first pick of the 3rd round, then you'll kick off. Then we'll do the Woo Podium, and then kick off round 4.
All right. I'm trying to think what I want for this. So I got a little bit longer weighted body weight and Murph. Nastier girls, I got, some muscle ups, a little bit of light to moderate barbell cycling, just some good old fashioned air squats. Sean, you kind of took me in this direction.
Oh no.
So, you talk about like Cindy has a workout that you can just pick up and do anywhere. Like that's like to me, I feel like if I'm gonna have a benchmark WOD, I gotta have a workout that I can do anywhere, pretty much anytime, with minimal demands for equipment and things like that. And this is 100% one of my travel workouts every time I'm on the road. And I'm just following by name right now because I picked a workout with Annie in it before, and I'm picking a workout that has her name on it, Annie. Which, if anyone's not familiar, it's 50, 40, 30, 20, 10 double unders and sit-ups. To me, that is it's an important workout in a CrossFitter's journey, because to me, it's the real test of like, do you have double unders? It is a skill that everyone really tries to build. We've all been there. We've all given ourselves some weird BDSM lashings on our legs and shoulders, and looking like we just came out of a dungeon because we've been tripping up on double unders. But when you can do Annie and you can complete it, and really anything under 10 minutes, you're like, I got double unders now. That is one in the bank. And anytime you're on the road or you just need something quick, to me, that's the default. Like, I don't want to warm up a bunch. I just got to nail something and get a good sweat in. And Annie always does the trick for that. And there's been variations that have popped up. There's GHD Annie, which impressively, Dave Castro does really, really well. There's a workout video on CrossFit.com from back in the day. You can look it up. GHD Annie, where Dave Castro does it. And actually, I'm pretty sure almost does it unbroken.
Wow.
I was like, oh. And I think that video was actually, and that testing of it was his inspiration for Awful Annie in stage 1 of the games this past year. So we've seen a couple of variations of it. It's a classic CrossFit benchmark, an awesome way to practice skills as well. And yeah, so I got to go with that.
So Annie, what is the story behind how that workout got put together and then named after you?
I just remember waking up one day, turning on, .com and seeing it on there and thinking like, what is this? Why is this on there? And I don't want to give out any names right now of other WODs, but there's a couple WODs, one in particular. And so if we don't cover it, I want to tell the story about it, but where like a lot of times, if you got a named workout, it was because it was something you hated. It wasn't necessarily because something you were good at. And so the only thing I can think of is I have always been good at double unders, and I have always been horrific at ab mat sit-ups. They're like the hardest thing in the whole world for me. My mom, true story, about 2 years ago, my 70-year-old mother and I started a workout in the gym at the same time, and it started with 50 sit-ups. And I'm not joking. She got up and moved on to the next movement, like 10 sit-ups. I still had 10 sit-ups to go. I am so horrible. I was pulling at my pant legs trying to sit up. Like I was dying. And so the only thing I can think of is that, it was because I do really enjoy double unders, and I'm just horrific at ab mat setups. Funny thing is, like, I remember, when Eva got her workout, it was this grueling 800-meter run, kettlebell swing pull up. Nicole's was one of those ones that was like semi-rhabdo, left you crippled. And then there was mine that was like, oh, double unders and sit-ups. And, I remember being at the games and people would be like, oh my God, you're the first workout I ever RX'd. And I had that moment of like, well, I'm just kind of the wimpy workout. But more and more I've come to like really enjoy having that workout, because it is one of the first ones that a lot of people do get RX'd. And so at least there's a good connotation with the name and the workout.
Sure. That's a great thing.
Cool. I would say that Annie, that Annie, along with Cindy, I would say probably more CrossFitters have done those two workouts RX than any benchmark workout ever.
Definitely.
So that's something.
The only thing is, a lot of people probably curse my name once they get in the shower. And
what happened to you? Double unders.
Yeah.
All right, Tommy, let's do a Whoop Podium before we get into round number 4. And this is all up to you now. You get to choose who we're going to put on our Whoop Podium this week.
Yeah. So, given my lengthy discussion earlier about sleep, I decided that we should go with sleep. And we're at the end of the month now. It's the end of April. I wanted to see who had the best sleep performance for the month of April. So, we're starting to get into May. Didn't we have Spring Forward, right?
We did, yeah.
Who kept their sleep up during all the daylight savings madness going on? So our Whoop Podium top 10 for the month of April. Nicole Wojciechowski, 100% average for the month.
100%?
Number 2, Aisha Jawed, 100%.
All right, good job, Aisha.
Yeah, 100%. Sophie Straith, 100%. Lindsay Neal, 100%. Alicia Black, 100%. Courtney Heath, 100%. Violet Meekum, 100%. You'd have to get to 8th place, Helen Reeks, before you even get out of the triple digits. She's got a 99%.
Wow.
Annie Tasaka, 99%. And then 10th, and certainly nothing to snuff at, Alexandra Sinclair, 99%. All of those above 8 hours of sleep on average for the month. Incredibly impressive. Nicole Wojciechowski, our top sleeper for the month, averaged, I believe, 8:56, which that's
impressive.
Hats off to you. So those are our top sleepers for the month of April for Talking Elite Fitness Group. Well
done, everybody. And now we get into round number 4. Tommy, kick us off here. It's your second of your back-to-back picks.
Okay, so now this is where This is I think where we can make or break the draft here. we got our big names, we got a lot of stuff. I've got a I've got a relatively moderate to short one. I've got two iconic ones. I'm going to do one. And this is tough. Man, I'm stumped here.
Mm-hmm.
There is
a lot of good ones.
There are. I'm torn. God. Okay, I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to get my barbell cycling one in. I'm going to do one that has showed up to the games and is another great one if you want to work on your barbell cycling and your endurance, and that is DT.
Ooh, that's a really good one.
Good one.
DT, if you're not familiar, we've actually done it twice at the games, a heavy variation and a double variation. This is, if you're walking into the gym and you're like, you know what? I'm not feeling the running. I'm not feeling the body weight stuff. Don't want to hit the row or the double unders. I just want to sling some 10. DT is your workout. You can lighten it up if you want. Otherwise, you can slap 155 on that bad boy in terms of pounds. I don't know what that is in kilos for all of our metric system people, but nonetheless. And you do 12, 9, 6 deadlifts, hang cleans, shoulder to overhead. And it is a hero workout. Let me find, I want to get the story behind it as well. Just give me 1 second. It is in honor of U.S. Air Force Staff Sergeant Timothy P. Davis, who was killed while he was supporting operations in OEF, and his vehicle was struck by an IED. I think it's one of the more classic barbell workouts that we have, and it's something that we have seen scaled up to meet the demands of the elitist, the most elite in the sport, in 2 different ways. It is the one workout that the fans have had a say in dictating at the CrossFit Games and getting to vote. And little did they know, they got to vote twice, essentially, by picking the first year's version and the next year's version, and it provided some amazing moments at the games. I will give him a shout out. And my good friend and brother from another mother, Julian Marquez, has been on the wrong end of a DT matchup head to head with me multiple times as I gave him the business in that workout. We did it in the Manhattan Beach Marriott at the games multiple times, shaking the foundation of that Marriott on games week, doing it with games workout, the games athletes, and everybody else standing around us. So it's a good time. I love that workout as a test. If you ever curious where your barbell cycling is and you're kind of a little bit of that strength endurance is, give that one a go.
Yeah. Fun one too, to strategize, as far as the reps, like dropping on the 11th deadlifts, switching the grip back around for the hang power. Are you going to break up the hang power cleans? And every round might look different. Super fun one.
I remember Jacob Hepner, and I think it was the heavy was the first year, right? And then double was the next. I think he did every deadlift as a single. I remember that. And it worked out really well for him.
Right. It's such a grippy workout. It's probably not a bad idea.
So much of that comes down to like round 3 of the hang cleans. Can you hold on? And obviously once you get through the hang clean, you want to be able to go right into the overhead and not have to put it down because it's so costly. And I think that's such a beautiful expression of like barbell complexes, but in a way that is quantifiable with a little bit of conditioning put in. It's also a great one to give to a weightlifter.
Yes.
So a converted weightlifter, so it's a fun one, and one of those ones that you like to toss out to the rest of the world. And I've seen like, people do DT at like 225 or I think someone did it at 315 one time. It's insane.
All right, Annie, steal another one of mine.
Okay. So looking at my list, Eva's long, Linda's got some barbell, FGB is a good 15 minutes. I need a short one. And I want to go for a little higher skill now. So I'm going to go with Amanda. Yes. And that is, that was made famous, obviously 2010 games, that first under the lights event that they did in 2010 when they were in the tennis stadium. And it's 975, if you're not familiar, of ring muscle ups and squat snatches at 135, 95. And again, you know, like all the hero workouts, it's a nod to one of the heroes within the community. And this was for Amanda Miller, who was at the games as a competitor in 2009, and then unfortunately lost her battle with cancer. And so just as far as when and how that workout appeared on the scene, I think it's very poignant. And again, I like the short and high skill nature of that workout. So that's my next pick. And I think it complements the rest of my workouts well.
That's yeah, you man, you both have really good lists.
That workout has provided so many good memories at the games in 2010. That was my first year at the games. And I remember standing on the floor because I helped out with Rogue that year, staring up as the flyover happened. And then Dave Castro called 3, 2, 1, go, at basically as the jet stream of the jets were still overhead and people were scrambling and trying to get on the rig. Jason Kalipo almost
killed the jib.
Killed the jib operator. I mean, that workout was kind of like the emergence of Rich Froning and even Camille that year, because everyone's like, who's this Canadian chick busting out muscle ups? It was used as a regional workout the following year in 2011.
Yep.
We got to see it again in 2017, and in kind of an ode to the changing of venues. Just as it was the first tennis stadium, it was first stadium event in Carson. It was the first stadium event in Madison with Amanda 45. So that's an awesome pick. I love that one. I had it on my board and I
got to it first.
Yes, you did. Annie just thievery all over the place here.
Yeah.
All right. So that brings me to my last two. And I've debated on what I'm going to do with these, but I'm going to go, and I don't have the story behind it, but at least I don't think I do. I don't. I'm going to go with, because I need something longer and just awful, because I don't have that. This is the hardest workout I have ever done, and I have never finished it. The first time I did it, I did it with my buddy Zach in Jacksonville, and it was so bad we were laughing like 5 rounds into it. Like, this is the dumbest thing we've ever done. Like, what are we doing? This is ridiculous. I'm going to pick Kalsu. Oh. And for those of you who don't know Kalsu is 100 thrusters for time, but you do 5 burpees to start and at the top of every minute. And and the prescribed weight for the men is 135. For the women, it's 95. So good luck with that one. It is the worst.
How far did you get in before you tapped?
I think we got 4 rounds in and it was like, no, this is not going to happen. I was dead.
Because you were still at like 12 reps.
Oh yeah. Because you're doing like, what? Okay. Burpees. And then by the time you get done with your burpees, you have like 10 seconds, you pick up the bar, and it just becomes this, it's like you're Sisyphus. You just keep pushing the damn boulder up and it just rolls back down. And it's this never ending time loop. And I thought I was going to see Dormammu and Doctor Strange there. That's for you, Tommy.
Yeah.
It's a terrible, terrible workout. But I believe Kalsu, he was I'll look this up. He was a former NFL football player. And he, I think he was killed in Vietnam. But I want to make sure of that. So.
Yeah, because I believe it originally started as a CrossFit football benchmark. Because I remember taking the CrossFit football cert back in the day, and they talked about that. And I remember going home and testing it and immediately regretting my decision, because this is and we don't talk about this enough, because sometimes I feel like there were workouts programmed coming down from the top where it was meant to be a trap or meant to teach you a lesson about something. Mm-hmm. Like the initial instinct of how you would attack a workout is actually the worst instinct possible, and it's supposed to reframe your picture of how to approach and analyze and attack fitness in a certain way. And Kalsu is one of those, because everybody blasts the first 5 and crushes like 12 to 15 thrusters in the first minute, and then after a few minutes, you get maybe past the 50 thruster mark. You're just fighting to get the 5 burpees in the inning because you have redlined and you're slowly trying to crawl your way back up the cliffside. And it's nasty. I remember doing that one at my affiliate in the corner. And it got to the point where like, I'm going to do the 5 burpees every round. And then I'm going to do 2 thrusters. And that's it. And I'm going to take another 15 to 20 minutes to do this.
Yep. That's what it turns into. But I have the story of who Kelsey was. It's Lieutenant James Robert Kelsey, 11th Artillery Regiment, 101st Airborne Division, U.S. Army, who died in action on July 21st, 1970 in Vietnam. He was also an All-American offensive tackle in the National Football League, playing with the Buffalo Bills for 1 season. So he declined a deferment offer to continue playing professional football and instead decided to serve. So he was a guy like Pat Tillman who chose to go. He could have gotten out of it, and he went. So, all right. So that's
good pick.
It's like the hardest. It is literally the hardest workout I've ever done. I don't even think I could finish it at 95, maybe, possibly.
It's not the hardest workout you've ever done because you haven't done it.
Exactly. I've attempted it. I've attempted it.
Yeah. Sorry.
So, thank you for the somatics. You're not only Annie, are you coming and stealing my picks, you're correcting me in front of everybody. You're not a very good guest.
Sorry.
You know I love it.
I love it. Keep going, Annie. Keep going.
Just keeping you honest, Sean.
Appreciate that. This is why my wife loves you, because you both just chop me down and bring me right back down to earth.
Because we love you.
Yes, I know. Okay, this next one, I'm going to end up this is kind of like, because of who I am, big old rig shaker guy. I'm going to go with King Kong.
Oh,
yes. Yes.
3 rounds for time, 1 deadlift at 455.
Woo.
Man weight, 2 muscle ups. Great. 3 squat cleans at 250 and 4 handstand push-ups. Just 3 rounds of that. King Kong. And I think the first time I ever saw anybody do that was Rob Orlando.
Mm-hmm.
Isn't there a video of him doing that, Tommy?
Yeah, there's a couple of videos that this is one of my favorite. Like, to me, if you're like, am I strong and skilled enough in CrossFit? Like, this is a great example of that. Because they're polar opposite things. Deadlifting 455, cleaning 250 for 3 reps, full clean, and then the muscle ups and handstand push-ups. And there was a little bit of a King Kong off for a while, like who could have the fastest one. Yeah. I remember Robbo doing it. I remember Josh Everett. That was a famous video of him doing King Kong.
Didn't Miko Salo do it too?
Miko Salo did 20 minutes AMRAP of King Kong.
Of course he did.
It is the most Miko Salo thing ever. Take this workout that at the time in 2009, 2010, not a lot of people could finish in a reasonable amount of time. He just decided to do it for 20 minutes. And
damn.
You know, like he's the Finnish Terminator, just attacked it for 20 minutes. It's crazy.
Didn't Tamara Holmes also do that? Do you remember Tamara?
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah, from
and
CrossFit
she's
Oakland.
one of my most beloved early CrossFit females, friends. And I remember she was one of the few females that did that one very early on.
I'd like to point out too, for everybody out there, none of my workouts have any running in them. By design, I think.
Oh man, yeah. Tamara Holmes, she was 4th in 2008, I think.
I think so. Yeah.
Former top 5 athlete at the games, which was an automatic bid for the games the following year. So she was one of those prestigious. Yeah, that's awesome.
Good bid.
That's a name I haven't heard in a while. She was fantastic.
And like you were saying, I mean, that was CrossFit when, people were saying, well, you can't deadlift 500 pounds and run a 5-minute mile.
Right.
And so this was something that Greg loved. Like, if you can, deadlift and clean this weight, there's no way that you can do handstand push-ups and muscle ups. And this was one of those classic workouts that CrossFitters were like, oh yeah,
we'll do it.
This.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go do it.
Yeah.
Right.
You guys had your picks involved 2 of my happiest moments in CrossFit ever. The day I could do King Kong and I could do it reasonably.
Yeah.
And then the day that I could do the muscle ups in Amanda Unbroken were my 2 happiest days in CrossFit for training purposes. Myself.
Well, you're welcome, Tommy.
Hey, you guys are so generous. How could I ever repay?
Yeah. All right, Annie.
All right. So looking at what I have, I do have a little running, even though I hate it. The Eva with a little longer, some kettlebell swings, some body weight. I got my 3 bars of death. I got a Fight Gone Bad, which is just a nasty one, a little higher skill couplet, fast one in Amanda. And being a lighter athlete, what I realized I don't have is just a pure body weight workout. And that is something that I actually usually really love. So I have to pick Mary.
That's a good one. I almost picked that.
Yeah, a little spinoff on your Cindy, Sean, but even more fun.
Great games event too.
Yes, great games event. I love handstand push-ups, love the pull-ups. I can make it through those pistols. But I think just like you just mentioned, now after watching Carrie Pierce beat the entire field of men and women, I have such a fond memory or a fond association with Mary as well. So I'm going to go with Mary to round out my 5 picks, my team.
I like that one. That's a great pick. I almost grabbed that one, but I was like, I already have Cindy. So,
man, Mary is not my cup of tea.
Dude.
That is not. I'm old long limbs Lenore over here. I'm not going to be doing
a lot of rom. A lot of rom.
Okay. So this is Mr. and Mrs. Irrelevant, right?
You got one more.
Yeah, this is the last one is.
Yep.
So this is tough because there's a lot of ones that I was curious about. There's some classic ones like Helen and Jackie and Diane that I think are ultimately going to get left off. But I think because of what I already have, they just don't fit in my piece of the puzzle. I got Murph, body weight, longer, more of like the crucible type test. I got Nasty Girls, a named girl workout that is a little bit of skill. I like Annie as like the go anywhere, do anytime workout. DT, my barbell workout. What I'm really missing here is kind of like my kitchen sink workout, like the chipper style workout that has a little bit of everything. And this is one of actually the hardest workouts that I've done. And every single time I get lured into this trap, and it's a hero workout, and it's called the 7.
Oh, yes. Oh, man. It's so bad. Yes.
It is 7 rounds for time of 7 handstand push-ups, 7 thrusters, 135-95, 7 knees to elbows, 7 deadlifts at 245. And I'm not sure what the conversion is. Maybe 165.
That sounds right. 7
burpees, 7 kettlebell swings with a 2 poot and 1.5, and 7 pull-ups. And this is anyone who's ever done that this is one of the biggest trap workouts as well.
I could see that.
Because you're like,
7 is such a benign number. Why would I break it
easy.
up?
Yeah.
You blast through the first round, and then you're like, okay, my heart's kind of going. You get through part of the second round, and you look up, and you're like, oh, it's 7 rounds. I still have a whole nother 5-round workout of this left to go. And to me, it was always we've done it at HQ a few times. It's a hero workout in honor of a suicide bomber killed 7 CIA officers and 1 Jordanian officer at a remote base in southeastern Afghanistan. And there's even a variation where you can do, I believe they added a round, an 8th round or an 8th rep to it for the Jordanian officer as well that was killed in it. It is a little bit of everything. You get upside down, you do a quintessential movement in the thruster. I did not have a thruster in here. You have a midline movement in the knees to elbows. You have a deadlift. There was no way I was not going to have a deadlift. And as a matter of fact, with DT, I have it twice because it's my favorite movement. You have a burpee, you have a kettlebell swing, and you have a pull-up. You just literally, it's one of those workouts where you try to get to the gym early because you want your favorite piece of equipment because you got to have the whole collection of it. And you feel like a kid that's going over to his friend's house for a sleepover for the first time. You just have all of your favorite toys wrapped around in your arms and you're just walking it over to your area so you can go have a good time. Because it's going to take you a while, and it always ends up being one of the more difficult workouts that I've done, and I always have a ton of respect for it.
You do the 7s, you're gonna have a bad time. That's a good. Those are some really good picks, I think, from everybody. I really like the list that the two of you have put together, especially because you picked 2 that were on my board. But yeah, that's I think there's a little something for everybody in there, and especially if you don't if you're a person who doesn't like to run, just saying, there's no running in my list. So,
trying to sell it.
I'm trying to sell it, because we got badly outsold last week.
Yeah. Oh man. Oh, we got sold bad.
I mean, I don't even think I need to look. I think Josh just killed it.
I'll announce it now because we're going to post it. Josh took over 50% of the vote.
Ooh.
Wow.
He absolutely destroyed us.
He campaigned. And Josh is a great self-promoter, and he called it. He called in his crew, man, and they put his name in there.
It was pro wrestling. It was a wrestling draft, and we have so many votes from people that have never voted on our drafts before.
What I'm saying.
We got a vote from Becky Lynch for life, high flying Seth Rollins, Rollins fan club #1, all of these wrestling fan clubs that he just tapped into that pulled it out. It was
I'm put an asterisk by that one.
Yeah, he played with the juice ball.
Yeah. There's some ballot stuffing going on there.
Yeah.
But it was fun having Josh on, and he gets the victory. So that's another win for one of our guests. And I have a feeling we might have another guest winning here. This is solid. You guys both did very well here. Very impressed.
I'm curious. So I mentioned a couple of honorable mentions that almost made it. The only other one that I seriously considered was Kelly, which was my birthday workout for multiple years in a row, because it is one of the workouts I was best at, which is why I picked it, because I would always win it in the gym, which is 5 rounds of 30 wall balls, 30 box jumps, 400-meter run. So,
and that's actually the workout I was going to bring up, Tommy. Because do you know the story of why Kelly is called Kelly?
I don't.
Okay. So back in the day when everybody just posted on the message board, that was the community. There was a lady, Kelly Moore, who always posted, and she was just a total fire breather. And there was a workout that came up, and it involved, a dumbbell or 2 dumbbells, and she just smoked this workout. And I'm pretty sure she did it at the men's dumbbell weight. Whoa. And everybody on the message board was just like, "Oh my God, Kelly, oh, you're amazing. You're amazing. You're amazing. This is, you're just a stud." And she came on and said, "Well, that's just because it wasn't running, wall balls, and box jumps." And the very next day, the workout was 5 rounds per time, 400-meter run, 30 box jumps, and 30 wall balls. Yep. So you can thank Kelly Moore for that workout right there.
I
don't complain about your weaknesses, because they're gonna,
exactly
show up.
You gave them the kryptonite bullets to take away,
100%. I mean, she literally said, that's just because it wasn't these 3 things, and they were like, "Oh yeah, guess what tomorrow's workout is."
Have at it.
It was great.
Oh man,
awesome.
Well, that was fun. Good job, everybody. That's a really good trip down memory lane, and taking a look back at some very difficult workouts. And I really, I really want to go do 3 bars of death. If I had to pick one on that list that I'd want to do right now, that would be the one.
Yep. We did it over COVID. And I got to say, I did it on our rickety bench outside, and it was so fun. I love this workout.
Yeah, because you really don't even need a clock for that one.
No,
just get through it.
You're just doing it.
Yeah, just have a good bro sesh.
Yes,
that's what I'm talking about. So, all right. Well, the listeners and viewers, you get to go vote on our Instagram page. So Tommy will have a post up of all of our picks, and then you can vote on who you think won. And I think this is going to be a lot of fun to see who pulls it out. I think I'm playing the underdog here. I like what you two put together. Really do.
You never know. You have Fran, Sean.
I do have Fran, but that's why I went first. But then,
this is where the snake style really got you, Sean, because you gave us.
It did. I took Fran knowing that I wouldn't get Murph, and knowing that I wouldn't, and I thought I would get Linda, and that would get Nasty Girls, and I was wrong. So, oh well.
Good fun.
Such is life. All right. That is going to do it for this edition of Podium Picks. Annie, thank you again for taking the time to do this. We really appreciate it. And I'm sure we will be seeing your lovely face in person soon. Always look forward to that. Again, go vote at Talking Elite Fitness on Instagram. For Tommy Marquez, I'm Sean Woodland. Be better, take care of each other, and we will talk to you guys next time.